The relations between India and Latin America, including the members of the Pacific Alliance, had evolved in three stages. The initial stage was mutual ignorance and indifference. The second stage is what I call as one night stand, occasional flirtation. Now we are in the third stage in the last 2 decades. This is romance, mutual attraction and interest. And this is symbolized in a Bollywood film called Kites, in which the Indian actor Hrithik Roshan does salsa with Barbara Mori, a Mexican actress who does a Bollywood number. And in fact, he acts as a salsa dancer teacher. In this romantic stage, the India sings Seduce-me, Besa-me, Abraça-me, Ama-me. When I said India sings, I meant it literally, because La India is the name of a Latino salsa singer. Her name is Linda Vera Caballero. So this is one of her famous songs, Seduce-me. Now, from this third stage, where do we go next? The fourth stage. Now, in India, in a Bollywood story, they would say marriage. But some of my Latin American friends, they have a 21st century relationship, which they call as amigovio, which means amigo is friend, novio is fiancé. So in between a friend and a fiancé, which is a kind of partnership. A partnership, pragmatic, flexible and unconditional. The partners add value to each other, support each other, give joy to each other, but they don't interference in each other. And it is not exclusive. One of my Mexican friends, he teased me. He said, you know the difference between India and Mexico is in India, you believe in one wife and many gods. So he said, in Mexico, we believe in one God and many partners, FTA partners. They have 44 countries with whom they have signed partnership. The business between India and the members of the Pacific Alliance has been growing rapidly. The trade reached $15 billion last year, and I don't see any reason why it can't double to $30 billion in the next 4 years. India exported $6 billion and imported $9 billion. Now, Mexico, Colombia, Peru and Chile, in that order, are the second, third, fourth and fifth largest destination of India's exports. There are 30 Indian companies which have invested in the countries of Pacific Alliance, in IT, pharmaceuticals and so on. And there are 10 companies from this region, mostly Mexican, have invested in India. But I would like to highlight one company called AJE from Peru. They have done something which Indians have not been able to do. You know, when the Pepsi and the Coke, the cola companies, entered India or invaded India, all the Indian cola companies either surrendered themselves or sold themselves off. There is not a single recognizable Indian name in cola drinks in India. And here we have this Peruvian company called AE. It has come with a brand called Big Cola, and they have already established a plant in Patalganga in Maharashtra since 2010, and they've got 8% share in Maharashtra. And they are there in Indonesia, Thailand and Vietnam, and totally about 22 countries in emerging markets. And their model of business is to the bottom of the pyramid. Now, Pacific Alliance members, they are called as the pumas. An economist has coined this term pumas. Puma is an animal from the Americas, which is powerful, fast and agile. So, this is the latest addition to the new emerging power kingdom of animals. Asian tigers, Indian elephant, Chinese dragon, and now we've got the Pacific pumas. The Pacific Alliance is the new kid in the block in Latin America, which already has 4 other sub-regional economic groups. You have Andean Community, you have Mercosur, you have ALBA, you have SICA. But the Pacific Alliance stands out distinctly from the other 4 groups by its vibrancy, dynamism, and openness and global integration. And the members of the Pacific Alliance, they also distinguish themselves from the other Latin American countries. I'll just point out 3 things. Number 1, the macroeconomic fundamentals of the 4 Pacific Alliance countries are stronger and more solid than the rest of Latin America. They have high growth and low inflation. In this year, in 2015, the Pacific Alliance countries are expected to grow by 3+%, whereas the average growth of Latin America is going to be just 1%. The average inflation of Pacific Alliance countries is just 4%. For the rest of Latin America, for the whole of Latin America, it is double that. And secondly, the policies of the governments of the Pacific Alliance countries are more predictable, stable, and transparent. In the latest World Bank survey of ease of doing business, these 4 countries are on the top in Latin America. Not only that, in global ranking, Colombia is 34th, Peru is 35th, Mexico is 39th, and Chile is 41st. And where is India? 142nd. And these 4 countries, they believe in free trade. Chile has signed the maximum number of FTAs with 60 countries in the world. They are the champion. Number 2 is Peru with 50 countries. Number 3, Mexico with 44 countries. And Colombia with 30 countries. All 4 of them, they have signed FTAs with the United States as well as with the European Union. And 3 of them are in the TPP minus Colombia. And 2 of them, Peru and Chile, they have signed FTAs with China, and even Colombia is likely to negotiate. Now the Pacific Alliance countries, they distinguish themselves not only economically but also culturally and politically. Latin America has won 6 Nobel Prizes for literature, out of which 5 have been won by writers from these 4 countries. Chile got 2 and the other countries got 1 each. Politically, these countries have become role models in certain areas. Mexico has an agreement called Mexico Pact. Now, when this new president, when he came to power in 2012, before he assumed power after his election, he sat with the 3 major opposition parties and worked out a consensus on the most desperate, urgent, important reforms needed by Mexico. And he has done it. In the last 2 years, Mexico has implemented 12 major reforms response in so short a time. Even Wall Street Journal and New York Times commented, hey, this is something for Republicans and Democrats to learn from the Mexicans. And of course, we can also learn here. Chile and Peru, they are role models for leftist parties and leaders around the world. Because they have evolved a pragmatic policy of pro-poor and business-friendly policies, something about 60-40. And these leftist leaders, they have given enough space for the private sector to flourish and create wealth, jobs and pay taxes with which they can sustain their pro-poor policies. So they are the role model for the new left of the world. And Colombia, I find as an example of reincarnation. 2 decades back, some Americans used to write them off as a failed state, all kinds of issues, terrorism. And now, I wrote a blog. The title of the blog is "The Risk of Doing Business with Colombia is Falling in Love." It has happened to quite a few young men from India who have become son-in-laws to Colombia. Now, before I conclude, I want to make one point for the panelists. When Pacific Alliance was formed in the beginning, there was a kind of rivalry, jealousy with the Mercosur, and some of the leftist leaders, they made critical remarks. But later when Madame Bachelet took over power in Chile, she brought the two groups together talking about convergence, and talks have been going on. So if someone were to ask me, which is important for India, Mercosur or Pacific Alliance, my response is with a song from Manu Chao. It says, "Me gusta la cocina, me gustas tú, me gusta la piscina, me gustas tú." I like cooking, I like you, I like the girl in the neighborhood, and I like you. So me gusta Mercosur, me gusta Pacific Alliance. Thank you. Let me invite the ambassador of Mexico. She's just brand new, she's just come. Okay.